Here are 12 new game modes that Behavior is considering adding to Dead by Daylight based on their recent player satisfaction survey. The first game mode on the list is 2 vs 8 Party. Now you may be wondering, where have I heard 2 vs 8 Party before? Well, Kyto made a video almost a year ago saying,
2 killers, 8 survivors, and 10 generators. Super Alpha and I are playing as the killers, and we figured out some extremely fun killer and perk combinations. A single perk will activate for both killers, so we get a ton of value out of perks you wouldn't expect.
Now I won't show you the entire video, but I do want you to go to Kyto's channel and check it out. I'm actually going to link that video in the description of this video. Now the point of 2 vs 8 is obviously to down survivors and to partner with another killer to do so. Now the way they could make this physically possible was through a modded server in which they could have the 2 killers and have the 8 survivors all in one match. Now something that was actually different from the videos that was in the player satisfaction survey was the Cages of Atonement. So those are the cages that you can actually be put in from the Executioner or Pyramid Head, if you call them that, after running in the Trail of Torment. So it sounds like Behavior is just like, let me not make the killers have to hook everybody. We'll just put them in the cages, get them to the next state, so they can keep on chasing the other survivors. The next game mode on the list is 5v5. This would consist of 2 teams of 4 survivors and 1 killer to face off to control the generators. Now, the second portion of this is capturing the generators by moving the generator progress towards your team's side in a tug-of-war style gameplay. Now, there is a different asymmetrical game called Home Sweet Home Online that has that similar 4v4 with the killers being the additional to make that 5 game mode. But that tug-of-war aspect kind of sounds like Call of Duty a little bit. I think Call of Duty actually did have a tug-of-war game mode where the game starts off with like a neutral area in the middle of the map, and then the teams have to go capture different objectives to make their team's bar, meter, point system actually increase. And I think that's what Behavior is going for here. I personally think this game mode has a lot of potential. One thing I would add would be flashlights and flashbangs being able to be used against the opposite team survivors. I would love to be able to do that. The next game mode is called Disgustingly Scary.
My God, that's disgusting.
All right, so for this game mode, I really don't have much to say other than the fog is thicker and shrouded in darkness. I really just want to know what Behavior has in mind here for this one. Like, give me a visual and then I will decide if I like this one or not. Imagine Dredge's Nightfall ability with this darkness and fog that's already there. That would be insane. All right, so the next game mode is called VIP. When the obsession is killed, everyone dies, but only the obsession can open the exit gates for everyone. All right, so this game has a lot of potential as well, but there's one issue: the tunneling. Behavior has not found an effective way to stop tunneling in the actual game itself, so how are they going to do it for this game mode? Now, I know what some of you are going to think. You're going to say, oh, tunneling is an effective strategy. I agree. I think tunneling is an effective strategy in certain situations, but with this game mode, the whole objective is to keep the survivors safe. So I don't know how you would be able to stop the tunneling for that.
Okay. No. Stop. You're tunneling me. No. I said stop. You're tunneling me.
The other thing I would be afraid of is the other survivors on my team. When you're playing with the Swift or friends, it's easier to make things happen. But imagine you're in solo queue in this game mode. You cannot count on the other 3 people to save your life unless there's some type of ability that you have as the obsession. But hey, Behavior is pretty good about receiving feedback, so even if there is something at the beginning, I know they'll listen to the people playing the game and make adjustments. The next game mode is called Swapped Perspective. Killers play in third person while Survivor plays in first person. I personally don't think the third person experience for Killer is going to be a big deal. We just got Chucky and he has that effect already, so I think we're used to that at this point. Now, first person Survivor, on the other hand, that could be interesting. I don't know about you, but I personally get jump scared by killers a lot, so this would be another element. Once again, thanks to the members of the modding DBD community, we actually have footage of what this could look like. Huge shout out to the YouTuber Fubs. I actually found footage of first-person gameplay on his channel. I'm going to link it in the description. I'm going to show a little clip right now so you guys can actually see how scary this could be. So while this mod is not exactly perfect, this is the closest of what I can expect from the game mode, and it looks terrifying. Like, imagine you're just standing there doing a gen or minding your business, and then you see Ghostface out of nowhere stalking you from far away. That would be absolutely terrifying. And you know what? Maybe this opens up the door for DBD VR at some point in the future. That would be awesome. All right, so the next game mode is called Bum Rush. More generators spawn on the map, everyone moves at double speed, and survivors have 3 lives, which they can revive after a 20-second death timer. So this game mode definitely sounds like it would be something fun. Not necessarily the original DBD experience, but everything moving very, very fast sounds very interesting to me. So what I'm picturing is just pure chaos, just running around the map, double speed, killers chasing you, you're vaulting, other people were doing gens, but they added generators, so you're wondering, how many gens are they going to add? Well, if everything's moving at double speed, I want to say maybe they just double the amount of gens, right? So you start off with 10, everything's moving very, very fast. You still loop the same, except it's faster. So let's say the average DBD game takes about 12 to 15 minutes. Divide that by 2, and we're not counting the generators because we'll just say those go by fast too. But divide that by 2. We're looking at 6 to potentially 8-minute games. Like, think about it. Like, what if I just sped up the game like this? Because honestly, this doesn't seem very bad. This would be very, very helpful for a killer I wouldn't want to play against or be in a match with for a long time. Like Legion, for example, with Thana or something like that, which goes into another element. Are we going to have perks in this game mode or not? That is a very good question for behavior. Okay, so the next game mode is called Giant. Sizes are altered, killers turn into giants, while survivors become tiny. Once again, this seems like something that could be a very, very good idea and very, very fun. And once again, we actually have footage of what this game mode will be like. Shout out to the YouTuber Kyto again. He's done this in the modded community already. And I think what makes this so interesting is that because the survivors are so small, that may be a disadvantage for the other survivors. Essentially, if you don't have comms right here, it is going to be very, very difficult to see the other survivors unless you're right up on top of them. Even in this clip, they are right next to each other and you could barely see them. Regardless of the difficulty, I think this would be an amazing game to play with friends. All right, so the next game mode is called Luck of the Draw. Start the game with randomized perks and items. Now, I think this game mode is going to be good for people who like variety. They like to switch things up. They like to have things change and not be the same. As both killers and survivors, I know we all hate when the killers run the exact same perks or the survivors run the exact same perks. Let's be honest right now, there are so many perks on this game that it's kind of sad to see everybody run the exact same 4 things because that's how behavior has developed the game to be at this moment. So that won't necessarily change for the main game unless there's another meta shakeup, but I think this is a good alternative for people who are sick of that happening. So the next game mode on the list is going to be called Deceivers. So in this game mode, survivors work together to complete tasks before one or more deceivers or deceiver can kill everyone without being discovered. This is played in rounds with voting in between. And you know, while I was making this video, I actually realized what this game mode actually is. This is essentially Among Us, like to a T. This is exactly what it is. The voting in between rounds, somebody killing somebody else, us trying to figure out who it is. That's all this game mode is. With that being said, it doesn't mean it won't be fun, but that's essentially what that game mode is, the entire concept of Among Us. Now, this might be a good time to drop in that I still want that killer that can change into survivors. Maybe they make a special killer for this game mode and let them be in the main game as well. All right, so the next game mode is called Hide and Seek. So there are no generators, there are no hooks, and there are only Moris whenever the survivor is down. But the objective is to stay alive for 5 minutes to escape through the exit gates. Now, the auras of the survivors are revealed to the killer every couple of seconds. Alright, so this game mode actually sounds a lot like Prop Hunt. If you've played Prop Hunt on any other game, or if you play Prop Hunt on DBD Mobile, because it is out on DBD Mobile, it sounds like a very similar concept. Now, there's no talk about being a physical prop in this game mode, but I think it's interesting that the auras being revealed every couple seconds would be similar to like a whistle, which is typically what happens in Prop Hunt. But seeing the physical aura sounds like it would be a lot more challenging because the killer is going to be able to see where you are. Once again, this game mode has a lot of potential, but it's all going to be on how behavior sets up the game itself. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. The next game mode is called Tag. A random survivor is picked to be the killer. Down a player to swap roles, meaning the survivor and the killer will swap positions, whoever that is, and then you need to survive for 5 minutes and escape. So this game mode sounds pretty straightforward. It's literally tag. And my only fear is that people who get tagged and they just can't get a hold of the concept, or they're getting juked too much or spun or something like that, they'll go ahead and they'll just quit, and then what will happen? It's very similar to how in real life as children you play tag, but nobody ever wants to start off as being it. I personally think there are going to be some salty people out there that are tagged and they're it and they don't want to be it, and they'll go ahead and DC. I feel it coming to the game. Honestly, it doesn't mean the game mode won't be fun. It just means that people are going to be less likely to play because they're going to be mad that they can't get somebody. But once again, I think we're going to have to really wait and see on this one. And the final game mode listed in the player satisfaction survey was called Zombie Tag. So this game mode had very, very similar rules as the last game mode. A random survivor is picked to be the killer. You down a player, so the killer would down a survivor to swap roles. Once the survivor turns to a killer, they cannot turn back though. That is the difference. Also, the ending portion of that is to keep playing until only one survivor remains. So I'm guessing that last survivor will be the overall winner. So Call of Duty had a very similar game mode called Infected. It was a really, really fun game. You could have multiple people in the lobby running away from that killer or the person that was trying to kill in that game. And honestly, I hope it's the same concept for Dead by Daylight. Like, what I actually want is more than just 4 survivors in this game mode. I'm hoping they make it much, much larger. So I'm thinking 10, maybe up to 15. I don't remember what it was on Call of Duty, but that would make it so much more fun. If you want to see a video where we talk about killer concepts and skins for killers that could come to the game, check out the video on screen now. And don't forget to like this video and tell me what game mode you want to see in Dead by Daylight in the comments.